nomination as secretary?
Yes, I do.
All right. We have CT and Carol. Are there any other nominations for secretary? And then I will get to your question, Jeremiah. Are there any other nominations? Jeremiah, let me just clarify. Is your question directly related to the election of the secretary?
It's directly related to all of the positions, all of the elected positions, yes.
Okay, how about I have you ask that, and then if there are any other nominations, we'll address that after Jeremiah asks his question.
Thank you. I just was wondering if acting on the board or the executive committee prevents you or disqualifies you from running for office.
So technically, well, let me clarify your question. What office? Overall, no, but what office are you specifically envisioning, Jeremiah?
I mean, as it relates to me, it would be state representative or
Okay.
House representative.
So you could remain on that committee even if you decided to run for state representative until the point that you were elected state representative. If you happen to be elected to a party position, the only avenue for any elected officials to be on party organizations, committees essentially, is to be part of the elected officials convocation that happens about 10 days after the caucuses in each even numbered year. So really, yes, anybody could run for a party office and then decide at the time of their candidacy whether they wanted to remain as a DFL party officer or not.
Okay.
Okay. Before we finish, well, let me ask. Well, we'll go there first. Dennis, please have somebody announce the outreach officer election results.
Results for the outreach officer are Charles Dolson, 34, Elaine Kelly, 20.
All right. Thank you. Congratulations, Charles. You have been elected outreach officer for Beltrami County. I will now ask if there are any further nominations for party secretary of Beltrami County DFL. If not, I'll determine that nominations are closed, and we'll ask if Dennis could take the draw the lots for speaking order.
Okay. First speaker is Carol.
All right, Carol, you have 2 minutes. Your timekeeper will be kind of in the background since you're both in the same building. But please have the timekeeper, Lynn, sort of pop up in behind you, almost like a photo bomb with your time warnings. The time should start as soon as you start speaking, Carol. And feel free to take your mask off so people can hear you freely. All right.
All right, thank you for that, Jacob. I have served for 2 years since 2019 as secretary. I would speak first about how I became secretary, which was by happenstance, because I did attend with a friend the convention at the Eagles Club in 2019. At that time, there was no secretary nomination going forward. The people organizing the unit positions were kind of at a loss as to what to do. And I happened to hear that a secretary was needed. So drawing on my fairly extensive experience as secretary for other organizations, I said that I would be glad to offer myself as secretary at that time, even though I had not been active in the group at that point. My experience started shortly after I moved to my home in Tenstrike in 1996. I happened to volunteer to attend a board meeting of the Mississippi Headwaters Audubon Society. And kind of like what happened at the Eagles Club, the secretary did show up, but then she quit. So everybody looked at me as a new person, and would I take over, which I did. So to continue then, I do support the Beltrami DFL committee's efforts under the current leadership, and I think they're engaging and doing outreach the way I do the minutes. I make sure I put different opinions, give context and details, and support to the motions that needed to be supported. If elected, I will continue for another term.
Thank you, Carol. Now, if we could have our timekeeper sit in the hot seat for the headquarters camera. We'll have our other candidate for secretary speak. And the time will start when you start speaking.
And
Excuse me, am I on speaker view now?
Well, that's up to everybody individually.
Well, I put it on speaker view, but okay,
Well, that's for you, and that's for your computer.
okay. Oh.
All right,
Well,
we'll say time starts now.
Thank you. I have a lifetime of experience with Democrats, the DFL, through multi-states, through volunteering for campaigns all over. I have served as recording secretary for many organizations in the past 35 years, from a Democratic district unit in North Dakota to multi-million-dollar corporations. I've served as a secretary responsible for writing the minutes. I know Robert's rules, and I follow their suggestion for taking minutes, and will follow them. They say, write what was done, not what was said. Minutes are not a transcript of the meeting. I will follow this. They suggest recording the meetings. I will record the meetings. The draft minutes will be sent out no later than 5 days after the meetings. They will be sent to all interested parties. Here's an example of what I will do. This is a sample of minutes that we have had in a DFL party. I would reduce it to that, and if you can't see it, I would timestamp the conversations. I took out 246 minutes that were extra, did nothing, and replaced it with other general discussion, no action, from 7:33 to 7:45. I will not interrupt speakers and will always seek the floor by a proper request to the chair. To win in 2022, we need to vastly expand involvement, especially among the young. I will work towards inclusion, not exclusion. I will seek to engage and train 2 younger people on the art of taking minutes, hoping at least one of them will take the position and become active in 2 years. Thank you. I ask for your vote. We can win in 2022 if we unite.
10.
All right, thank you, CT and our timekeeper. Both candidates for secretary have now spoken.